Another dark log from the diary of a griever named John Weaver, which is me. Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Because I sure as hell ain't. Right now, the time is about 1:45 in the morning, West Coast time, Wednesday, the 22nd of 2026. Shout out to the artist in recovery / General P. Shall we talk alcoholism? Shall we talk recovery? Or shall we talk about Kash Patel? Alright, let's do all three. Okay, since Kash Patel got into office last year, hired by the old gas bag, Mr. Dysfunctionality, if I can call him that. He wanted the best people. He keeps saying he was hiring the best people. And unfortunately, he was hiring broken down people doing their jobs and getting their asses kicked on a constant basis. We turn our attentions over to an alcoholic named of Kash Patel. I'm saying it because I'm observing him having that kind of behavior. And if anybody else has been in the program of recovery, you know the difference between an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic. What's a drinker? It's just drinking for a little bit of effect and for partying, but for constant need. Reports coming back from different sources in the FBI and probably other places of how Patel is losing his mind and his sanity, losing his control over things, and going wild and crazy and not even remembering what the hell's going on, or trying to do something simple such as logging into a computer network. For those of us who have been keyboard jockeys ever since we can remember, the keyboard has either been the friend or an enemy to us, depending what the hell we were working with. Computer programming was, well, it used to be done by punch cards, and they finally moved up to programming like Fortran, COBOL, BASIC. BASIC was fun to learn in high school. Learn how to make a balloon fly through the screen, or having special effects on the screen. The more you did the intricate, the more the professor liked you. Until you screw things up. But me, I made adventures. I made a written adventure and got a C out of the damn thing because it wasn't spectacular enough. I don't give a shit. I was doing writing. But I was also trying not to deal with school on that kind of basis either. But I was an alcoholic in training during those days. I was getting all the characteristics lined up where I was going to be a tornado in my family one way or another. But there was a bigger tornado in the family, and that was my big brother. He passed away in 2018, 32 years clean and sober. And he had a hell of a long battle just to get to that point. And I'd seen I'd seen his rage, I'd seen his insanity, his lying, his thieving, and cheating, stealing, pilfering, pillaging, plundering. Like an addict would. He was an addict alcoholic. Me, I was hiding from everything. I was just about a half step away from a drink that would lay my ass out. And if I did, I don't even remember the shit. But here we are. I declared back in 2000, what was it, back in 06, October 10th, 06. And from that time, I had to keep myself clean and sober myself. But then again, there are a bit of aspects that you'll have to keep admitting to yourself and others what kind of an asshole you can be, and whether or not you're going to be out of control or not. The one thing I knew about the damn disease, it manifested in different ways, taking control of someone's life to where you needed something to get through things. But you couldn't admit it to yourself that you're out of control because you needed more of it. When they were talking about addiction in college courses in Health 101, they were talking about how it's affecting the brain. And not to mention Psychology 101 was doing the same damn thing too. It's a nasty thing having a pleasure center turned on. And then never stopped. And then again, you get so overloaded that you can't get enough of that feeling, and you're chasing more and more to keep that switch in the brain working. But there's three things concerning about being an alcoholic addict. First, it's mind, then body, then soul. And the soul, that's where the spirituality comes in, where we admit to ourselves and to a power greater than ourselves, we can't deal, we need help. Well, first off, it's admitting to yourself that you're powerless over alcohol or whatever kind of addiction you're going through, that your life is totally unmanageable. Or, put it in guttural terms, you're fucked. 2, came to believe that the power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of that higher power, whoever we called God or something else. Our hardest damn part is to 1, 2, and 3. At least I kept thinking, until there was number 4. When you have to make amends, when you have to make a listings of those who you harmed, and that could be to God, you, and everybody else for that matter. And after that, you have to tell it to somebody else, and then have to go through the process of making amends, no matter how long it was going to take. And continue to take personal inventory, and when we're wrong, properly admitted it. And by the time you reach number 12, having a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we carry this message out to the alcoholics that are still suffering, or to the addicts. And somewhere in the steps, personalities change because we turn our lives, as we understood them, as we understand anything else, to a power greater than ourselves. You know, it could have been a group, a physical group, it could have been a doorknob, or it could have been spiritual. But then again, as we're taught, as we keep doing these steps again and again and again, that it is a 3-parter on our ass. The body has to recover. 2, the brain's got to recover. And 3, the spirit has to be on a constant war, but also looking for constant serenity at this point, through a power that we turn everything else, our lives and everything we know, to it. We can call it God or something else. There's a chapter about atheism. There's also a chapter to the agnostic in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, done by Dr. Bob and Bill W. And in this book, it had given us lessons on how to recognize it, and how to turn things over, how to make amends, and personal stories and personal battles. It gets updated every so often. Well, every so many years anyway. But it's still the same message. We are our own worst nightmares. And if we happen to admit to that, then there is possible chance that we can recover. Unless, of course, they call us a wet brain, which means we've been going through the same ring around, the merry-go-round, if you want to call it that way, to the point where we can't stay sober. Our brain is constantly flooded with alcohol, and it's damn near impossible for the wet brain to recover. And how many times we keep drying out, as the spirit just still keeps screaming for it, the brain, the body are still looking for that addiction, because that wanting is still on. I haven't had that want in a hell of a long while, but there's been times I wanted to drink just to deal with life on life's terms. Now, we talked about Patel, right? Let's talk about the guy with looking like a deer waiting to get hit by a car because the lights are blinding his eyes. Have you ever noticed Mr. Patel, when he goes through hearings or press, sometimes his eyes are glazed over, and sometimes they're in shock because he's looking at multiple headlights coming after him and he doesn't know where to go. If he's with another fellow alcoholic, he'll feel in strength, he'll feel empowered. because he knows he'll lean on them more, and he doesn't have to be perfect at it. But he's going to admit that he's got an ego problem. He just doesn't want to admit he has a problem that's going to be humiliating and humbling his ass. So he'll lie, cheat, steal, thief, everything an alcoholic will do. A pirate of sorts. He said okay to the job to Donald Trump of being the FBI chief because of perks he heard. Flying a jet, being driven in cars, having Secret Service protection, or actually having the FBI's protection over him. He could do anything he wanted. It doesn't matter if there's any nasty cases out there that the FBI is still working on to protect the United States of America and everybody else. No, he wants the plane. He wants to go fly somewhere. He wants to waste fuel and taxpayer money for it. And he had a girlfriend. Whoopee. And she, I don't know, how come the press hadn't gone after her yet? All this time, I haven't heard anything from the press going after Patel's girlfriend for any information. Hell, if the National Enquirer was still in operation, they'd be going after her like crazy. Just waiting for a story. It doesn't matter if it had to be true or not, they post the damn shit and give her money. But these days, she's got FBI protection apparently, on taxpayer funds. She's a concert goer. She likes to party. She's a party girl. This is what happens when you're hanging around addicts and alcoholics. Everybody likes to party. If everybody's got the weed and everybody's got the juice, you're on it. And Patel's been on it already. I don't know about the weed, but I know the juice. He's got that look, and he's got that hung down look sometimes. Hung over, and he's got to answer questions, and he's angry as hell. He's not angry at the people. He's angry at himself. And he thinks he knows better. Trump's Trump's regime right now is so damn dysfunctional. I imagine nearly every damn one of those assholes who are in the public are a raging addict, alcoholic somewhere in there. And they just want to feel like they're in power, they're in charge, they got the ego going on. They're feeding off of it. And I know how that feels. I've been an egomaniac myself for a long while. There's physical manifestations concerning about my situation regarding being an egomaniac. I'm a pin lover. I'd spend money on pins. But is that an addiction? No, but my own ego is addicting as hell anyway. It wanted me to show to people just what kind of an asshole I can be. Look at the bit of pins I've got here. I got metal all over my jacket, my vest. I got patches, pins, I got rank on here. Don't you understand what kind of an asshole I am? Bow down to me because I got the rank and you're just nothing. That was kind of the attitude I was treating people anyway. But then, privately, I was the most insecure bastard you ever seen. I hid. If you're talking about a pure introvert, you're looking at him. In school, K through 12, when I was a younger kid, going through maybe grade 1 through 6, I may have been an introvert during those days, learning how to be an introvert. I played with other kids, but, they were all assholes, I kept thinking. And maybe I was an asshole to them, too. But I was an introvert, guys. I was into more of myself and my own imaginings than anything else for that matter. So, I was a mental case. High school comes up. I've got a house close to the high school as a hangout. They hang out in my living room, and my bedroom was off limits because I was in there hiding from them. I spent enough time in high school. Why should I spend time with these kids? Because I was afraid. I was afraid and I couldn't even pin it down. I was so into myself with Not even funny. Struggle with the grades, struggle with dealing with a grandmother who was bedridden, and then when she passes away, I still had to struggle. Easy enough to take a bottle and take a drink and go out. No, I take the bottle, I'd go in the bedroom. Yeah. I didn't want to deal with anybody. I didn't want to deal with anything. Not for me. I didn't want to deal with life in itself. But I still have to be honest with myself. I don't remember or recalling anything concerning about bottles in my lifetime. But I had been diagnosed by 2 alcoholics who said that you're 1/2 drink away from becoming what we were. We got all the damn signs. So I had to come clean in the meeting halls. Some things I held back in reserve. When my brother was getting clean and sober, I hated him and admired the living crap out of him. And I was still scared shitless of him. He had already done his dervish on the family. Now he was trying to get himself reclaimed. He was trying to get himself clean and sober. He was trying to get his life back. Or maybe start a new life. He was trying to rebuild bridges. He still scared the shit out of me because I'd seen the darker nature of his asshole. And even though he's my big brother, I loved the crap out of him. He still scared the shit out of me. But it also scared the shit out of me because I could have been like that also. I'd seen my own explosive nature come out. I'd seen Mr. Hyde. I didn't like him. Part of my own damn dark nature. You have to have something to hold on to for dear life. You need a life jacket in life. My brother held on to Alcoholics Anonymous because it was keeping his ass clean and sober, and he discovered spirituality. Wasn't exactly working on religion, just spirituality. That's about it. He felt the Spirit of God trying to maneuver him different ways, even in difficult ways that he had to go through for amendments or worse. At least he had the courage to keep going. Some people may have noticed that in me when I was going through the program. One thing talking the talk, but it's the other thing walking, and that's the other thing. And if you're with a bunch of recovering people, they'll know. Trust me, they'll know whether or not you're filling them with full shit, or you actually are walking a path, and they recognize that. But the question is, do you? Did I? I had been converted into a Methodist a long time ago. I had a spiritual adventure that scared the shit out of me ever since the open heart surgery at the age of 4 years old, and I couldn't even explain to anybody what the hell was going on. Not even the clergy. One or two kept trying to talk to me about death. Hell, I've been there, but they didn't have any concept except what the Bible told them. I mean, I could learn what it is to be a Methodist and learn to be confirmed in a church. But when it comes down for feeling spirituality, when it comes down for feeling that kind of power, that's what I wanted. But it wasn't going to happen in my lifetime, was it? It really wasn't going to happen in my lifetime. So I had to do what I had to do. Live life. And screw it may have been. But, that was it. I'm imperfect as hell. I don't want my damn ego telling me that I'm better than everybody else, because I know I'm a fool of an idiot. I'm an alcoholic addict. Doesn't matter what kind of form the damn disease will take. It'll take it, and then I'm off and running. And I don't even know what the hell's going on after that. But the thing of it is, I have to keep turning my life over to a power greater than myself, and I still have to do maintenance with him and amends, because I'm not doing enough with that. Not turning my life over to a power greater than myself, because my own damn ego's still trying to run the damn show. And putting me in the danger of threatening my life. My damn fears had been a controlling factor half the time. Didn't want to die. I didn't want to be an alcoholic. Didn't want to be this. But I sure as hell didn't want to feel God either. Even though I did want to feel God. But I have to admit this stuff. Not just for the rest of the world to know, but for me to know. For me to know this. And understand that I am just as screwed up as everybody else. So I can't have that damn ego like I've seen other people try to develop. Because I know where the hell it's going to be taking me. I'd rather be heading right back to a damn recovery hall. I'd rather be hearing the stories from people still struggling with their own addiction problems and their own alcoholic issues and their own issues concerning about their own fucking ego going out of control. I'd rather be hearing about experience, strength, and hope. I'd rather hear about a higher power still trying to get my attention and still trying to maneuver me to where I need to go and need to be and how to live. I want that. Because I have to keep admitting I am powerless over this damn stuff. And I need that higher power. I really do. I'm scared enough going through life right now as it is with all the shit that's happening with me. So let me do a part 2 on this one. That being said.